Often we'll see compounds that have two or more different elements, like NaNO3 or K3PO4. To write the formula for these compounds, when we're given the name, we'll use the periodic table and then the common ion table. So we'll follow these rules to guide us, and let's try one. Let's do NaNO3, sodium nitrate. So we have this metal, sodium, and then we have this group of nonmetals, this NO3. And the NO3 is the polyatomic ion. So what we'll do, we know that sodium has a +1 charge. That means this whole NO3 here is going to have a -1 charge, and that -1 applies to the whole NO3. So we can name Na by looking at the periodic table, and that's called sodium. And then we have this NO3-. That's not on the periodic table. We need to go to a common ion table, and you're often given one of these in class or on a test, but check to make sure. And we'll look up NO3-. So we look through the common ion table, we have the -1s, -2s, -3s. We're looking for the -1, and as we go down, we see that NO3 is the nitrate ion. So we go back and we write nitrate, and that's it. That's the name for NaNO3, sodium nitrate. So pause and give these two a try. You'll find a link to the common ion table in the description of this video. To name KNO2, we know that K, that's a metal, and it has a +1 charge. And then we have this group of nonmetals, our polyatomic ion, so that has to have a -1 charge. We look on the periodic table, K is potassium. And then we go to the common ion table. We're looking for NO2-, and as we look through the table, we see that nitrite, NO2- is nitrite. So we'll write nitrite. So potassium nitrite is the name for KNO2. For CaOH2, we have our metal and our group of nonmetals, so it's ionic. Calcium is in group 2 on the periodic table. It has a +2 charge. And then the OH is going to need to have a -1 because 2 times the -1, that'll give us +2, and we'll have a net charge of 0. So we look up Ca on the periodic table, that's calcium. And then we're looking for OH- on the common ion table. So we look through the table, OH-, that's the hydroxide ion. So we write hydroxide. So the name for CaOH2 is calcium hydroxide. Let's do one that's a little more scary looking. We have aluminum, that's a metal, and on the periodic table it's in group 13, sometimes called 3A. It has a +3 charge. So the total charge here, 2 times +3, that's +6. So somehow 3 times something is going to give us a -6. Well, 3 times -2, that'd give us a -6 here, and that would cancel out the +6, so we'd have a net charge of 0. So we write the name for Al from the periodic table, that's aluminum. Then we go to the common ion table and we look up SO4 2-, that's the sulfate ion, so we write sulfate. And we're done with this one. That's the name for Al2SO4 3, aluminum sulfate. So it really doesn't matter when it looks quite complicated because we're just looking up the name of the metal and then we're looking up the polyatomic ion, and that's it. Give this one a try. We'll write the name for the metal. We have calcium. So calcium, group 2, has a +2 charge, total charge of +6 here. So I need a -6 on this part here to balance it out. 2 times something will give me -6. 2 times -3, that'll give me -6. We're good. So we've already written calcium. We look up PO3 3-, that's called the phosphite ion. And that makes the name calcium phosphite. Let's do one last compound that's a bit tricky. For NH4NO3, what makes it tricky is you have NH4 here and NO3 here. You have two polyatomic ions. If you go to the common ion table and you look up NH4, you'll find there's something called the ammonium ion. It has a +1 charge. And we know nitrate already has a -1 charge. We did that earlier. So you have a plus and a minus, they're canceling out, and that makes it ionic even though there is no metal. So to name it, it's actually not too difficult. We have NH4 plus, we looked that up. That's called the ammonium ion. And then NO3 minus, that's the nitrate ion. So we just write nitrate. So the name for NH4NO3 is ammonium nitrate. Ammonium's a good one to remember and be able to recognize. So now you should be able to write the names for compounds with polyatomic ions. For lots more practice naming and writing formulas, visit Breslyn.org. This is Dr. B, and thanks for watching.